Welcome back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of
Our podcast.
Insert Name here. I am your co-host,
Steven's
Laserdisc.
Untitled Rock Show. I am your host, Twitch, and we have some fun things to talk about tonight.
Where do we begin? Where do we begin, Twitch?
Well, I've been wanting to talk about...
if anyone can hear us.
If anyone can hear us.
Yeah.
Plosive.
Weren't we going to have lives today?
You know what?
Well, what happened to that?
I don't know. I'm not gonna worry. Dude, lobs are so annoying to set up to begin with. They're such a freaking...
I've set 4 of them up at once on a film shoot and then also boomed while running all 4 of the lobs. It was exciting.
I had to double boom one time like that. That's no fun. The girl in my class was like, I'm not gonna help. I was like, oh, okay. But no, so the first thing I've been wanting to talk about is I saw this video from... hold on, actually, I'm just going to list. What do you want to talk about as well?
So I came prepared to talk about the sort of weird brash of like...
A rash?
Brash.
Jason got a rash.
Yes. New seasons of things that ended a while ago.
Okay.
That has happened in the recent years.
Okay. So for
we
those
could
of you
talk
watching,
about that.
you can skip ahead
To time code.
to time code. Insert time code here, over here. I want to talk about a video that I saw the other day. Did you ever watch the Adam Ruins Everything videos?
I haven't watched them, but I know what they are.
You know who he is. Okay.
Yes.
So, and I'm not gonna go out and like bash anybody, but
He's not.
this video
Uh-huh.
was about gaming. And it was kind of, like like don't have the stigma against gaming. So it started off really positive, right? It started off in a really good direction. It's like, don't have that stigma about gamers.
Yes.
They're people too, blah,
Yes.
blah, 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 blah.
Gamers are people
Gamers'
too.
lives matter, all that stuff.
Hashtag not all gamers.
Not all gamers' lives matter. And it got to the end of the video, and this is where I want to start the discussion. It got to the end of the video and had made the comment that Sony and Microsoft were missing out on the market that is mobile gaming. And I thought to myself, I was like, no, they're not.
No.
And I thought about it, and I had, as many people that play like mobile gaming, there's a lot.
Yeah.
It is a huge market.
Yeah.
But it is not a AAA market. It's not.
So here's my immediate thought metaphor that I can apply to this on my thoughts about mobile gaming. I like cars and I like driving. I like driving fast.
Yeah.
Go-karts are kind of fun, but they're not cars.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's how I feel about mobile gaming.
Exactly. And so when he made this comment, immediately like red flags, like bang, 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 like shut down, error code 411, and I died.
Yeah. And he died.
And I'm dead.
Gamers' lives matter.
Hashtag,
And he died.
And I'm dead. So
He's a gamer.
you guys need to start a Kickstarter for me now.
Pray for him.
My Go Fund My Funeral campaign. Go funeral me.
Go funeral me. What about go funeral yourself? Is that a thing we can do?
Go funeral yourself. It's like, never mind. But it just, and I've had my buddy has like talked to me as well about how, super popular mobile gaming is, and I agree, it is super popular, but
Yeah.
so mobile gaming existed since mobile phones have existed.
Yes.
We had Snake.
Yes.
I don't know if that was the first one. I think it was the
Snake.
first one.
Various versions of Breakout.
Yeah.
You ever play that submarine depth charge game? It was on
No.
like Palm Pilots
No.
and crap. You had like you were a battleship destroyer or whatever.
Yeah.
And submarines would go across the bottom half of the screen and you'd have to drop depth charges
Oh, that's
on.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Use that stupid little scroll wheel on the BlackBerry.
Yeah.
Ugh, garbage phone. Anyhow, so in the amount of time that mobile gaming has become a thing, and this is not an insult to mobile gaming or Lineage 2, but Lineage 2 is currently the only one that has held mass tournaments like that. And I know they've had a couple like small tournaments for like Clash of Clans and stuff like that.
Clash of Clans.
But like, or like Clash of Titans or Clash of what? They're all Clash of something. Someone's clashing somewhere.
Yeah.
And those are mobile games. I don't know. It got me thinking, or it made me think like, who actually thinks that mobile gaming? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong, but it's never gonna be that a AAA market.
So I think the very obvious, like, smarty pants, obnoxious response to that question is, oh well, in just a few years, you'll be able to play AAA titles on your phone.
No, because guess what? In just a few years, the hardware that's on our consoles right now will also develop higher. They'll also grow. See, that's the thing about exponential rate when it comes to technology. If one thing in video technology grows, everything around that grows. So See,
but people don't understand that.
People don't understand that.
People don't, like, all people know is that
their phones are getting smarter.
Technology is increasing at a fast rate, like a crazily fast rate. So they say stuff like, "Oh,
my phone will be as good as your Xbox one day." Like, no, I'm sorry.
And, like, retroactively, like, a phone from 2025 will maybe be as good as
an Xbox One X.
Yeah,
we'll
maybe.
say that. But guess what? In 2025, we're going to have the Xbox One Banana because they're not going to follow any sort of pattern. That's what they'll name it, I'm sure.
Xbox 2 Banana.
The Xbox 2 Banana. We're foreseeing it right now on insert podcast name here podcast.
We gotta fix that. we gotta have a brand.
We'll take a poll.
A poll from our one viewer.
Our massive audience.
Yes. If they can even hear us right now.
Yeah, that's the real issue. I don't know. I kind of enjoy the ambience. I hope it doesn't sound terrible on post.
For context, everybody, behind us
is a Smash tournament.
At the GameTyrant Land Center here in North Salt Lake. Is a Smash Bros. Tournament going on.
Like, there's actually a Smash Brothers tournament taking place right back there. You can see Alex Refresh right over there. Actually, you probably can't see him.
Yeah, but over across from a giant echoey chasm. It's like being back at Epic Puzzles and Games.
It's not that echoey. I haven't heard myself echo that much. It's
better.
It's all hard walls, but we have diffusing as well because we have a hanging ceiling, and so it's got diffusion.
Yeah.
And with all the monitors, we got tons of diffusion. The audio sounds great, and you guys know it. You know it.
Because they're in the future.
But, like, I think about
they're watching this on their phone that's as powerful as an Xbox One X.
But that's actually a good point, though. Like, think about it. Like, there's Smash Brothers tournaments on the Wii.
Yeah.
Which is a 10-year-old console.
Yeah.
And they barely started to get, like, tournaments on phone mobile games.
Yep.
I don't see it happening.
I think there's been video game tournaments since Pokemon.
Oh, I'm sure there has been. I'm sure that people like have been doing phone game tournaments for a long time, like just little small private thing kind of deals, though.
And it's like the thing is, the difference between, let's say, 3DS or a PlayStation Vita is kind of like the difference between, like, so you can go rafting in like one of those $5 like inflate with a hand pump.
Yeah.
Inflatable rafts.
Little dinghies that you get at Walmart.
Yeah, you can do that, but it's really not going to be the same as like one of the big, like 12 people rafts.
Industrial strength, actual whitewater rafting.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. I mean, and what's funny is, and I'm going to make this point, and then I'm going to back it up a little bit. No one wants to play competitively touchscreen. No, not many people want to play touchscreen. And this was proven with the Steam controller.
Yep.
The Steam controller is a great idea. Came out, people were hyped about it.
Was it a great idea?
I know at least the 3 people that I know that have a Steam controller rarely use it.
I know.
Because it's touch sensitive.
I know one person that has one and he likes it.
Who?
My friend's fiance.
Oh. Is he an idiot?
No, he's pretty smart. Like, he's a cool dude.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I mean, he sounds like an idiot. Just kidding. But I mean, it's because very few people want to play a video game with anything that is touch sensitive.
So you know the number one reason why PlayStation Vitas like are still holding their value on like aftermarket like Craigslist and KSL and stuff?
Why?
Because no matter how good people have made emulators for like older consoles on phones, phones don't have something that the Vita does have, which is controls.
Yeah, exactly.
So like the PlayStation Vita, unfortunately, never had that great of a library of software. But
thank you, Sony, for not marketing PS Vita.
But
could have been awesome.
You can do a little bit of firmware hackery, and all of a sudden you have the best mobile handheld emulating machine ever because it's got 2 joysticks, it's got triggers, it's got 4 buttons,
it's got a D-pad,
and it even has a touchscreen that you can map to other controls if you need, but you probably won't.
And what's funny
because you won't want to
is that cell phones are actually coming with button attachments. You know, like they have like for the Galaxy Super Note Banana, whatever phone it is, the newest thing.
Banana.
It's like the bottom half of a Game Boy that slips over the screen and onto the phone.
Yeah.
And it's like, just get a Game Boy.
That's like a Kickstarter thing.
Yeah.
And it's like
that's how you know people do not want to play video games on a touch screen.
It has a cartridge slot on it. It's
yeah.
Like, just get a Game Boy.
At that point, just get a Game Boy. You'd spend less money.
Like, you can get a fully new, made in the last 5 years with high quality products with a built-in back screen and everything Game Boy for what you would pay for that thing,
if not less, honestly.
And you would have a better experience wholesale.
Yeah. And that is why, like, these reasons, all of this combined, coagulated, is literally the reason that Sony and Microsoft are not missing out on the mobile market. It is not a missed opportunity because it's not even an opportunity worth taking. Because they know that people, like, competitive console and PC gaming is huge.
Yeah.
It is huge. You want to know why? Direct control.
Yep.
Direct control. You ever hear people complain about lag or input lag? Yeah, input lag's the worst. Now play on a smartphone when you accidentally go too far somewhere or whatever. Like, it's not... It'll never, it probably, no matter how powerful phones get, unless they start actually having tactile controls again, which, unfortunately, I don't see that happening for some reason. Which makes me upset.
Unless that happens, mobile gaming will never be more than an ever-increasingly good-looking way to spend the time when you're pooping.
The only reason I have a touchscreen phone is because phones with buttons don't have the internet.
Yeah.
The only reason. I hate touchscreen stuff. It is so frustrating. It is just like, it's neat, it's fancy, it's like, oh, I touch the screen and it works. It's obnoxious. If I could have buttons for texting again, my life would be complete. Give me a button 9 key. That's all I want. I don't want a QWERTY keyboard because that was cancer.
No,
QWERTY keyboard was terrible.
Dude, you remember I rocked that Sidekick for years,
dude,
man.
for years.
And I miss it.
You had the Sidekick too.
Sidekick 4G.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was actually, and that one did have full internet access. That's right. But that's that was the one phone. Unless you got a BlackBerry.
And BlackBerry keyboards were shaped like a T9, so it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, they were shaped like a T9, but it was a QWERTY keyboard.
Oh, it was horrible.
It was the stupid. Let's not talk about BlackBerry. I can talk about how much I hate BlackBerry for a long time, because when the Z100 came out, I was super pumped for BlackBerry. Then I saw how bad it was.
Oh, do you remember the BlackBerry Storm?
Oh, absolutely.
I remember,
I almost had one.
My friend in high school had one. I was like, this is the weirdest thing.
Having to push the screen?
It's like,
what is that?
So modern laptops, how the entire trackpad will click?
Yeah.
It was like that.
That was the whole phone.
It
was so weird. And a button wouldn't recognize until you couldn't just touch the screen like a regular touch screen. you had to push the button, and it was like, what was the point of the touchscreen?
I think it was just people misinterpreting what people didn't like, because this was back when touchscreens were like the new thing, right?
Yeah, I had a Dare. I had an LG Dare. Yeah.
Oh,
Talk
Dare!
about bad phones.
Dare to not
Dare
have
to
this.
touch. It's like that's like an advocate for a. Well, let's not get into that.
Yes. Let's leave the touch screens behind.
The touchscreen is just it's bad. That's why I mean. That's literally why, like, mobile gaming, like, that's not a missed market. Adam ruins everything. I'm sorry. You are wrong. You're talking to people that are gamers, not people that just went out and did research about gaming and looked at numbers.
I don't know, man. I think that a lot of his audience comes from just like Facebook posts of his videos. So
oh yeah,
I feel like he's
he's appeasing the masses.
He's not appeasing the masses.
He's appeasing the masses.
He knows his audience.
That's appeasing the masses.
Nah.
If his audience is a mass, that's appeasing to the masses.
Eh.
Not the general public, which, by the way, my English teacher told me was not a thing. I was like, that's not true.
What do you mean?
She told me there was no such thing as the general public.
But what does she mean?
Go talk to her. She's an idiot.
Okay.
She gave me 100% on all of my papers, which should not have happened. I'm going to be the first to admit it. I should not be getting an A+ in English. Ever.
I'll be the second to admit it.
Ever.
Having been your co-hoster here,
Yeah.
Twitch does not deserve an A+ in English.
Not even a little bit. You have to go all the way around. We have the camera up. Sorry, man. We can't. We're podcasting. No, not tonight. Sorry, man. One of the Smash players. Pretty cool guy. I've talked to him a little bit. He's a pretty cool dude.
Came to smash us.
Came to smash us in the face. That might be one of the. If the audio sounds good, that might be the only issue with showing here.
Yeah, I kind of want to try that small room over there. Even if it is small. Keep the general public out. Oh, I have killed Twitch.
You can't say words like that. They don't exist.
Kind of like women that don't have curves because they're not real.
They're not real women, apparently. Any hizzle. So that's my little rant for today. I had another one, but I can't remember what it was. I thought about writing it down, and then I forgot that I wanted to write something down.
It's okay. Let it go.
Then I forgot about
let go your hate.
What I wanted to write down.
Let go your hate.
Forgot to write it down. Forgot I wanted to write it down. Then forgot what I was going to write down. So this is like a whole chain reaction of just bad.
Oh man.
But yeah. I mean, but I will say this: when it comes to touchscreen stuff, I love that the 3DS has a touchscreen.
Yeah.
But as a secondary thing.
I like it being there.
I like the Switch. The whole Switch is a touchscreen.
Yeah.
But it's a secondary thing.
Exactly.
It's not the main.
Can you imagine if for per adventure.
I'll show you.
Whoop. If they had shipped just this.
Yeah.
If they had shipped just this, Nintendo would be now seeking a corporate bailout. Nintendo would, like the titan that they are, this would have ruined them.
Oh yeah.
If it had just been this.
And honestly, I love the idea that the handles detach.
And you can.
There's nothing quite as nice as the handles detaching, the kickstand and everything.
How does it?
It's weird. It's actually in there really tight.
There you go.
But we're talked about the Switch already.
Yes.
But yeah, had it just been this, you might as well just go buy an iPad Mini.
Like, Apple would have seen a huge increase in, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they had only sold something like that, they would have, like, partnered with Apple for it. Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, luckily...
Then at the last second, they would have decided to do their own thing. Apple would have gotten mad, done their own thing.
But, I mean, luckily, and that's one thing that Nintendo, I feel like, has done really well, is they've seen the desire for touchscreen stuff and also recognized that it's not a good way to play things specifically.
As much as people think that.
It's great for menu navigation.
Oh, yeah.
It's great for that kind of stuff. I won't lie. Like, It's way easier just to be like, oh, I have like a pizza berry way down at the bottom. I can either just keep clicking, or I can just throw it real quick and then touch it, and I'll be there. It's like it's convenience, and that's where touchscreen in gaming comes into play.
Yes.
I've heard that on the back of the PS4 controller, or the front of the PS4 controller,
Yes.
the touchscreen. I've heard that's actually super effective.
It's really nice to have that.
Which is it's awesome because it's not the primary use.
Yeah.
It is just it's like a secondary thing, and you don't even have to use it if you don't want to. Mm-hmm. Like it's very much just
there are a few launch titles that you need to use it, but those are launch titles, so they're like showing everything off.
Yeah, they're just trying to be cool. All right, what are you going to talk about with us?
All right, so
for the last however long we have.
So I want to talk about in recent years.
Wait, what? I didn't hear what you said.
In recent years.
Oh, in recent years.
There's been a weird trend where shows that have been over for more than half a decade, at least, some of them much more than that, have been deciding to do another season.
Oh yeah.
So you have
Arrested Development.
You have Arrested Development. You have X-Files. You have Twin Peaks.
What is Twin Peaks?
So imagine
Twin Peaks.
No. So imagine
really smart women.
No.
Really, just super smart women.
No, it's not even about peeking at them. No, so it was in the 90s, and it was fairly similar kind of a thing to the X-Files, sort of.
Yeah.
But it's these mysterious, unexplained happenings are going on in a small town in the Pacific Northwest with like a population of maybe like 50 people.
Population of you.
And, it's like...
There's a guy out front changing the population as people drive in.
Yeah. There's...
7.
It's like there's a lumber mill that I think might be defunct, and there is like a tourism industry, like a small tourism industry, and that's about it.
Okay, so it's a terrible little town.
This teenage girl gets murdered, and like an FBI guy... I haven't watched it because I couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
This FBI guy comes in to investigate, and there's like really crazy, maybe supernatural stuff going on, but there's also like this like grotesque little soap opera going around in the background where like everybody is cheating on everybody with everybody
about everything.
Like every man in this town is apparently a pedophile.
Don't you? I hate shows where everyone's a terrible person.
And that's what this show is.
Like I get it.
The FBI agent is like a shimmering, shining example of morality and wonderfulness, and he is it.
And then he has a dark
town.
secret that he murders babies.
I don't even think that he does. I think he's just, all of the goodness that should have been spread out evenly amongst everybody just got concentrated into him.
So is he specifically would he be the lens? No.
No.
You don't think he's not the lens? It's not about him then?
It bounces around between characters too much, and
I was just saying, 'cause that's a very lens character thing to be.
Yeah.
Like Seinfeld,
Yeah.
That's like legitimately Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, but that, from what I understand, didn't really have a very conclusive end, and the X-Files didn't have an end.
If they're gonna bring something back, bring back freaking Nathan Fillion.
Castle?
No. Well, Castle was great.
Firefly?
If you're gonna bring back an old show that everybody hated until a decade later, bring back Firefly.
So I want
because you know what? People are gonna freaking watch it.
I know they would, but I just want to touch on the whole subject of Firefly. Everybody hates that it got canceled at 10 episodes. They didn't even get to show the last 3 episodes on TV.
But guess what?
Everybody says
all you people who are upset didn't watch it while it was airing them.
No, the point I'm trying to make. It is so universally beloved because it's only 13 episodes long, and it ended before it could go long enough.
I could I could actually see that being the reason.
Like it would still have a cult following if it had been able to continue, but if it had past 2 seasons, I very much doubt people would be so vehemently in love with it.
It's true. Like how interesting can you make Han Solo? I mean that's basically
it's like Han Solo mixed with like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, like that's basically what the whole show is about, is the Millennium Falcon. I mean, that's all they are. They're space traders.
Yes.
They're just the Millennium...
They're smugglers.
And it was a cool idea, and honestly, you're probably right. Like it works better that it died.
Yes.
Had it not died, I think it may have killed itself. It's either you die a hero or live long enough to become the villain.
And I don't always agree with that, but I think this show definitely is an example of that. Because it's like it got canceled, then it got a movie, and everybody's just super in love with everything. And
well, because it was just cheesy enough.
Yeah.
And if you drag that kind of humor out for too long...
Like, 2 things would have happened. 1, it would have stagnated, or 2... they would have X-Files'd it, and they would have kept adding more and more crap to try and like make it more and more interesting, and it would have collapsed under its own weight.
Yeah.
So I'm glad. I, for one, am glad that it got canceled.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. I'm glad it got canceled. I'm not happy it got canceled. But that makes sense. I can understand that. I should disagree with you. Like, you're an idiot. Everyone hates you. But I don't. I'm sorry.
So with the new seasons of old shows, I recently watched X-Files: The Event Series, which came out 2 years ago. It was season 10 of the X-Files, which could have ended well enough off as season 9, from what I understand.
Well, and you know what they could do? Because X-Files is a show that you can eternally run.
Yes, but they decided to not do that.
Well, what they could do is like just treat it like Doctor Who. Just have new main characters and make a new X-Files. And I know Doctor Who does it, and it makes sense because it's like transferring sentience essentially. But I mean, they could do that to a degree without having to like explain it. Like, oh, it's a new season of X-Files. Now we follow Mark and Hillary around or whatever.
So like. In season 10 of the X-Files.
Oh God. I'm worried.
So in the second to last episode, as what I at first interpreted as just sort of like a silly throwaway gag, Scully and Mulder, who after the first episode of season 10 are just back on the X-Files after they've been out of the FBI for decades.
Yeah, after Scully became a doctor.
Yeah.
And Mulder
ran away.
I don't know what he did.
The law.
Yeah.
But so
for whatever reason,
they're back in their little office in the X-Files, and a duo of FBI agents come in to ask for their advice. Do you know who this duo is?
Oh no.
You got a young, skinny, dark-haired white dude who believes conspiracy theories and the fantastical, and is an analyst, like not an analyst, a profiler, a psychological profiler.
They basically created their
comes in and
young doppelgangers.
Stop.
Oh God.
And a young, shorter, red-haired white chick who is a scientist and a medical doctor and a skeptic. Assigned as the partner of this other dude.
You know what, though? You know what they could do?
To debunk his theories.
You know what I bet they could do with this, though? They could start time traveling. I would not be surprised if the X-Files tries to touch on time traveling, because at some point or another, everybody does it.
Like, so they
sorry.
Come in.
Time traveling is the trope you accidentally fall into because you think you can do it, and then your TV show dies. Unless you're Rick and Morty, because for whatever reason, they've figured it out. They actually know how to time travel. They know how to do it. So these two, we didn't even try to pretend that they're the same thing to come into to ask Mulder and Scully for their advice on this case. What are their names, like Scolder and Mully?
No.
They're not that original?
No.
Mulder and Scully with a K.
But So like,
what L?
There's been suicide jihadists in
my
Texas.
Gosh.
Like the beginning of this episode is so like on the nose. Like this young, like quiet, probably no social skills Arab young gentleman like starts his day. He's got pictures of bin Laden all over his apartment.
Of course. That's what you do when you're religious.
You know, he fixes his dinner. He does his prayer on his rug, and he goes, gets in his car, and he's driving around. For some reason he's got his window down. You know why he's got his window down? So that people can yell at him, right? There's this huge like idiot like redneck pickup truck next to him at the intersection, and like they honk their horn, and it's like full of young adult white people.
The horn's like wah 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 wah. That's what the horn does when they honk it. And one guy's like, "You got a pretty mouth."
No, it's it's full of these.
That actually happened in the X-Files.
Rednecky, like young adult white Texans. Like, I think what the guy at the steering wheel says is, "Looks like we got ourselves a visitor."
Wow. I mean,
right?
they have to appease to the current masses.
And so the guy he drives on. He picks up another young, quiet, slightly disconnected-looking Arab gentleman. They pull up at, I don't know, like a Ginkgo's or a print shop or something, and they park and they go in, and then kablamo! Wow! Who saw that coming, guys? And apparently one of those two survived the bombing somehow, but he's like in a persistent vegetative state. And
he's mashed potatoes. Of course he's in a vegetative state. His body is legit mashed potatoes.
No, his body is okay, but he's got like a concave, like
where did he put the bomb? Were they playing
right
soccer
here
with it? He's like bouncing it off his head. Boom! He passed it back.
I'm not trying to defend it, but like, yeah, and young.
These are the kinds of things that make me wonder if people still have integrity check jobs.
Young Mulder is like trying to convince old Mulder and old Scully to help them because he wants to communicate with the guy that's in a coma, because he hopes that the guy will tell them where the rest of the terrorists are hiding or something. But yeah, that's that. So, see, the event series of X-Files was 6 mediocre, going through the motions episodes of later seasons X-Files, which people agree is where it just got crappy. There's one episode that features the third member of Flight of the Conchords and is hilarious, but it has nothing to do with the rest of the episodes.
Well, and here's the thing, in my opinion.
And it ended on a cliffhanger.
Well, duh.
And 2 years later, this year, they're doing season 11.
You get outside of my town.
No.
Season 11. Well, so, and this is my opinion again. When you have live action, you really can only run seasons for so long. Because people age, and it becomes noticeably different.
Oh, man.
You know? Like think about Boy Meets World. They did it correctly because they were able to watch him go through middle school, or elementary, middle school, high school, and then college. But it worked because of the setting. When you start off and you're 30 working at the FBI, and then 30 years later you're 60 working at the FBI, you can watch the show fizzle because there's no scenery change ever, and you just watch the people get old and kind of over it.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas cartoons, I mean, I guess The Simpsons is a great example.
Here's the real funny thing. Like, watching the season 10 and looking at David Duchovny and what's her name that plays Scully.
Mrs. Duchovny?
No, that's in the show.
Oh.
And they didn't actually get married.
That's right.
And apparently they're not dating anymore in season 10.
Because that makes sense.
Anyway.
They have to add that love drama in there to appease to that
No, they
crowd.
just don't talk about it. All they talk about is that they had a kid together, but they don't talk about like any of the romance.
They had a kid?
Yeah. Well, no.
What?
There was a time at which.
Is this where they got time traveling in the show?
No.
We had a kid, but then we went back in time and killed it.
No, there was a time in which Scully decided to use artificial insemination, and then a little bit after that happened, it was like drummed up that that was actually like that was Mulder's sperm donation.
What?
Or something. So it's their kid.
What is happening in this movie?
This happened in the seasons back before it stopped and then came back.
How do you accidentally fiddle into a cup and then not have it be your fiddle? That's magic.
I could talk about.
That's just magic.
I could talk about how bad the X-Files is
forever. That's some Expelliarmus bullcrap.
But
the wrong spell, but you get the gist.
But no, you look at those the actor and actress in season 10, and they don't like. You get used to it. They don't really look that old. They just kind of look later middle aged, and then that's another thing that really made me laugh about season 10. The opening, exactly the same.
Really?
Exactly the same song.
No. I don't know the song.
The same imagery.
X-Files,
So
give me your files.
In the beginning of like in the during the little like opening theme, they have like these little still shots of, the two of them doing their thing.
Yeah.
And after you get used to them in 2016 looking not all that old, you look at them when they were in the 90s and they were like probably 28 at the least.
They were really young.
They just look like teenagers in comparison after you get used to it's just weird. But no, so that's the X-Files season 10. And then, did you ever watch Samurai Jack?
No, but I know of it.
So it had 4 seasons. It kind of really petered out in season 4 because I honestly think the director really wanted to do shorter episodes, but because it was TV, he wasn't allowed to do it.
So from what I've actually been told, the director was being stifled on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so he left or something. And then he got back, but was they're with Adult Swim now, right?
So that's what I'm talking about. In I think also 2016. Yeah, no, it would have been at least 20. Maybe it was 2017. I can't remember.
I think it was 2016.
But after the 4th season, it all kind of fizzled. Didn't really feel like the people were in it, like their hearts were in it anymore at the end of season 4, and it didn't have a conclusive ending.
Yeah.
Season 5 came back,
and
it came back strong, right? So X-Files season 10, a couple episodes of going through the motions, cliffhanger, tune in next time.
Did not come back strong.
Just like every other season of the X-Files.
It came back because Fox was all like, it should come back. Whereas Samurai Jack came back because the creator was like, we're coming back.
And it was 10 episodes, 10 strong episodes that from the beginning was intended to be a capstone. This was the creator of the first 4 seasons saying, all right, I want to give this an ending.
I want to do it, dang it! Sorry, Wonder Woman.
And
let's get Lucille out here.
So
call me the Walking Fred.
You're the Walking Fred, man. So, in comparison to X-Files, I think Samurai Jack did it right where, if we're going to do another one, let's have it, let's give it a purpose.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of these, season 10s, we'll call them, that have been happening recently, miss the point of having a point.
Like Legend of Korra?
You mean the entire series?
Yeah.
So
I feel like that
Here's my take on Legend of Korra.
Was just super off the mark the entire
Here's
way.
my take on Legend of Korra. I think there was probably a lot of creative strangulation that happened where there was things the creators, themes the creators wanted to incorporate that Nickelodeon said no. And I think
Nickelodeon said no on a lot of things. Nickelodeon almost said no to A Legend of Korra to begin with, even though Avatar was such a huge success.
Yeah, they have been fighting Nickelodeon since before Avatar.
Yeah.
when they were first making Avatar, they really had a hard time convincing Nickelodeon because Nickelodeon
does episodics.
Only understands one thing: short form comedy that you can run in any order in reruns, and people will always go, ha 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 ha.
It's SpongeBob. Why is Patrick dead in this one? You know, like, it just, they don't care. There's no, like, merit and heart in any of it.
And so they finally convinced Nickelodeon, and there's this story where Nickelodeon was just playing reruns of it in any order, right?
Yeah.
And viewing was very low.
Go figure.
And then the creators were like, what if you played it in order? And all of a sudden there was this huge spike in viewing when they were playing it in order on reruns. And that, I guess Nickelodeon didn't really learn anything because there's lots of evidence in all 3 or 4?
There's 3 seasons in the first Avatar.
No, the next in Korra.
Oh,
I think it's 4. I think there are 4.
I've only watched the first one.
So the first one specifically, there's a lot of evidence of creative strangulation because the ending was so rushed. I guarantee to you that Nickelodeon was planning to cancel it.
Oh, 100%. No, I 100% believe that because...
And then they were like, oh, shoot, it made money again. What do we do now?
Yeah, when they got to the ending and there was closure, I was like, why is there closure? It's season 1. You know, like, there shouldn't be any closure. We shouldn't have killed the bad guy. We shouldn't have won the day.
It was bad closure, too.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, oh, you won.
It was magical closure, like...
It just like kind of happened, you know. All of a sudden, it was just over.
Season 2 really speaks to a situation of, oh shoot, we didn't realize we were gonna get to do this, so we're not really sure because season 2 is rough.
Is it?
The writing is kind of bad, like the characters feel inconsistent, things are rough.
And I'm gonna partially blame Nickelodeon for this, and partially blame Avatar the Airbender for this, because...
Avatar the Last Airbender.
The Last Airbender, because of how, like, just phenomenal that anime, those first 3 seasons are.
You called it an anime.
It's an American anime. It's still an anime.
Just call it an animated show.
It's still technically an anime. SpongeBob is an anime.
I'm not having this discussion with you right now, so go on.
Anywho, but... The first 3 seasons were phenomenal.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
Yes.
Aang was perfect
They
character.
have their rough spots, but they're really good.
And even their rough spots aren't bad. Like, it doesn't take you out of the feeling by any means. Aang was a perfect character. He was the perfect protagonist for... Antagonist. Protagonist? Protagonist.
Pro is good.
An is a word.
With an E.
It's really good, and so trying to make that different with Korra, making her a different style of protagonist, but also making her good.
So I think
was a struggle because I don't like her character.
So I agree. Korra's character, she's kind of a dick, but
not only that, it's just like I feel like you don't get to grow with her like you did with Aang. You know?
See, that's a lot of growing happens in the later seasons.
Okay.
But not a lot in the first season because, like, again, I feel like there was a lot of...
Nickelodeon saying, it's not going to last, we're going to kill you all.
Yeah, but, no, so I feel like it was important for them to, like, be going in a different direction. Is he capturing our attention or what?
It's our co-producer, Jason. Your co-producer. They can't hear you. Oh. But anyhow, the anime Korra.
Why you gotta do that?
Why you gotta be that way?
Why you gotta be that way?
Why you gotta be so rude?
But I think it was important for them to go a different direction with the character Korra from the character Aang because...
Well, they had to. I mean, otherwise it was just going to be this. It would have been dumb.
Like one of the major differences is that it all happens in the same setting, and the creators said we did that because we didn't want to just be doing the same thing we did last time.
Yeah, and the problem is that's a really hard thing to balance. On top of Nickelodeon also threatening to shut your studio down the whole time. So, like, A, you've got to get a show out.
Yes.
B, you're trying to make it different and yet still refreshing and good.
Yes.
Both of those things are being, like, thwarted by a company that doesn't want you to exist.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I don't blame the creators at all for Legend of Korra.
I don't either. Like, I feel like
it's not their fault. They did, and it's still a fun show.
I feel like almost every big problem I have, Nickelodeon is in some way responsible for it.
I can believe that.
But I would recommend seasons 3 and 4.
I still need to watch all of them. I'm gonna watch all of them. I haven't seen them at like Target or something.
Season 2 is rough.
But I need to watch it though.
Yeah.
You know?
Some unfortunate things. Who is your favorite character?
It's been a while since I've watched it.
Okay, you've got Korra. Probably not, because she's a dick.
She's just
You've got Mako, who is the cool dude. You've got
that she falls in love with, right?
Yeah, you've got Bolin, who's the funny dude.
That falls in love with her.
And then you've got Asami, who's the hot chick. The other one.
That falls in love with the hot dude.
Yeah.
And they date.
Yeah.
Yes. Honestly, there's really none that I loved particularly.
Didn't like Bolin?
I didn't hate him, but there were like none of the characters really, like for me, when it comes to original Avatar, Toph stands out. I love her.
So
I love every second of Toph.
Okay, let me reinvigorate you. We get to meet old Toph.
Yeah.
In seasons 3 and 4.
Yeah, and I've heard that.
And it's worth it, if only for that.
Really?
Yes.
And that's my issue with season 1 of Legend of Korra is there's just nobody that strikes me. You know,
nobody resonates with you.
Really at all. Like they're all fun.
I mean, Toph wasn't until season 2 of Avatar.
That's true, but I mean, at that point already, you know, I was already in love with the Aang character.
Yeah.
He's such a great character.
Yeah, it's hard to redeem Korra because she doesn't feel very altruistic. She doesn't feel very fun. She doesn't feel very nice.
She's very just middle stat.
She feels like
she's like taking a 10 on D&D. Like she just kind of took it.
She feels like a badly done stereotype of a teenager.
I can see that. I wish that they would have made her just like an angry, like very by the book, very stern, very staunch. I think that would have been a much easier take with Nickelodeon's fire-breathing dragon crap going down the back of their faces to work with. Because it's easy to work around someone that's always mad. Or not mad, more like, who was the earthbender that Aang...
Boomy?
No, not Boomy, the lady. He goes to their village, and they are all still worshiping her, and they hate him because he left.
The Avatar.
Her name.
They weren't worshiping her. They hated her too.
They hated her after she said she killed somebody.
Yeah.
But that girl, I wish they would have made her more of that character. That would have been easier to work with you know, Dickelodeon.
So I will say that Korra's character doesn't perhaps get more likable, but she gets much more interesting.
Less hateable?
Much more interesting in the later seasons because in the first season, she's kind of just like, kind of reactionary, like, I hate you, punch, and that's about her entire personality.
Yeah.
But she actually is a little bit forced, but she does end up doing some more introspective thought later.
That's good, and because that's one of the reasons I loved Aang is because he is always willing to admit he screwed up, but then he doesn't just say he screwed up, he fixes it. He changes that thing about himself. He's like, I messed up. I'll try not to do it again. No, it was, I messed up. I won't do it again. I will do it right from now on. I will figure, and that's why I loved him.
I mean,
and Korra's just like, well, I'll do whatever I want because I'll do whatever I want. And
it's important. Obnoxious. I think it's realistic.
Yeah.
Because if you consider the differences, Aang, like, you know, the war was coming and he ran away, and then all of a sudden the war has been going for 100 years and it's his fault.
Yeah.
Right. So I can understand, like,
he has a burden that he has to bear already.
And Korra, she's just born into a post-need society in a time of peace. Like, domestic terrorism is the biggest
the
worry,
only issue, yeah.
And it's only happening in one city. And it's like later, stakes get much bigger later, which is good and bad. Season 2, it was like the whole world, which was bad. But the later like season,
which was dumb.
Season 3, there's crap going down that's only like one of the nations, and it's some serious crap, and it's like stuff that is Avatar duty stuff. And so she really is forced to step up to the plate in a way that she isn't in the second season, but whatever.
Yeah.
And so she gets better.
Needless to say, it's hard to revive an old show. It's not easy.
It's not.
Because you have to worry about casting. You have to worry that you think the same that you used to. Because think about 10 years ago.
Like as a creator, there has to be a reason.
Yeah.
And I feel like when they set out to make Korra, they had reasons. Whether or not any of them were properly translated through Nickelodeon
or valid,
I can't tell.
Yeah.
But I know there's at least one thing that they apparently really wanted to do that Nickelodeon didn't let them do. That they
write the show freely with creativity.
Well, it's a specific thing.
Show nudity.
No. It's funny actually. There's I'm gonna slight spoilers, but there's a part in I think season 4 or 3 where somebody's head gets blown up.
Oh wow!
Like you remember the assassin that Zuko sends after them?
Yeah.
Someone that can do that thing where they spit fire out of their forehead. Someone like that. A metal bender just encases their head in somebody's armor as they're about to do that, and their head just blows up. But it's so jarring because it's Nickelodeon, because you see it happen, you see everything leading up to it happening, and then there isn't even a sound effect for it happening. You just have to take it on faith that her head blew up.
Oh, man.
And it's so jarring. I was like, there's got to be like something, this was like a censorship thing, but no, they didn't, you can't find the footage of that happening. It just doesn't exist. That's so weird.
But is it still like frightening though? Like as far as a cartoon goes?
Well, it's like it's a shock.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, that just happened. Because like you see like a very like out of the corner of the screen, like the person's body on the ground with smoke rising from their neck.
Oh
right?
Man.
But that's for like 1 second. But it's
that's
like
awesome.
It's pretty metal.
Pretty metal.
Pretty brutal.
That's awesome. Well,
I think we've well gone over.
I don't actually think we've gone over that much. It's only 8:15, and we had to pause as well at one point too. So for things and stuff, but this probably won't be the permanent setup. I don't know if we'll ever get one.
If you guys can hear us.
We might get one.
We're just going to be traveling around GameTyrant like vagabonds.
Traveling podcast.
Yeah. Today we're in the bathroom. Today we're in the VR lounge.
New guest. What's your name? Kevin. Kevin! He's taking a poo. Kevin, pull up a mic.
No, we're in like the disabled stall.
Yeah. We're in. People come in. We have a show about them. Just sit down behind the table and go to town. While we're right here talking to them,
and our next
making eye contact the whole time.
Well, I am your co-host Laserdisc.
I am your host Twitch.
Signing off.
Thank you guys for hanging out.
Bye bye.